For our hoteliers, the South Coast is an irreplaceable attraction, inviting travelers from around the world. Yet, with climate change, storms grow stronger, and beach erosion steals away the beauty of cherish. For marine tour operators, every dive and tour is an invitation to witness the magic below the waves. But pollution and coral bleaching are threatening these habitats, and with them, our chance to experience the wonders of the underwater world. For residents, this coast is home, a place to raise families, to feel the sea breeze, and to watch our children play on clean sands. But pollution and litter are changing this place, bringing the threat of a coastline lost. Imagine if all of this just disappeared. No fish, no corals, no sandy beaches. We have a choice. We can protect the South Coast, or we can watch it fade. Together, we can preserve this place for generations to come. Every action matters. Every choice counts. So join us in protecting the South Coast.
SVG, get ready! The National Lotteries Authority is now offering more chances to win with 3D and Play 4 now 3 times a day. 3 times a day. There's a morning draw at 11 a.m., afternoon draw time 3 p.m., and the night draw from 9 p.m. Get your tickets for 3D and Play 4 now drawn 3 times daily, Monday to Saturday, all from the National Lotteries Authority, giving you more chances to win. New draw times will begin from Monday, May 26th. Any terms and conditions apply.
Hi guys, I'm Chantal and this is Carnival Hop on VC3 TV.
VC3, baddest thing.
And High Road.
So we had to make a stop at Blue Lagoon, or some people might know it CSY, to get some gas, because we can't be in the water without gas, okay? And he threw some oil in that, and we are basically ready to go and fish.
Yes.
Does this happen?
Really, this like water it down for the guy even going properly.
Nothing wrong. Okay. Fisherman said. Oh, they're passing us. Y'all got food and then bring none for us? Oh, look at those waves. My God. And so where's we going again?
Yeah, Rockford.
Okay. And that's where you will find like redfish? So I ain't going to get no tuna? I ain't going to get no tuna? Never know?
Never know.
Good
Like a
man
shark.
says never. A shark? I go shark.
Where the pussy? Where the pussy? Where we going done? We going done. We going back where? We going China one. Me get. Where the pussy? Where the pussy? Where the pussy? Where we going done? We going done. We going back where? We going union. Me get.
How do you know where to go?
Landmarks.
Landmarks? Yeah.
Using antenna.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they're using the antennas as landmarks. So when are you going to stop? When you reach on the bank? Okay. Alright, so we're learning today. We're learning quite a bit. When you reach on the bank. So Gucci Man is preparing. He has some small bait, putting it onto the hook. Ways boy. Ways. Just a little tilted. Bit. I go that much away playing for the walk. Y'all have a real stomach boy. Come on here every day. Okay. So maybe that bird is an indicator that there's fish here. There's what? They see tuna? I tell all I'm catching tuna today.
Well, this type of fishing we're going to do is more for snapper.
Snapper.
Yeah. Redfish,
Okay.
barracuda, might probably catch some pufali, shark. All type of fish that's be on the bank, but majority on the bank is redfish.
Redfish. Oh, it's redfish today. I would be honest, I'm a bit nervous because I feel like we're in the middle of the ocean. What's the longest y'all ever stayed out here?
Night.
Till night?
From morning till night.
Just sitting here?
Sitting there, setting down stone, bringing up fish.
Y'all just have time to reflect on life too.
Yeah. Sometimes we sit down, we smoke, we drink, we talk, jokes, make fun of one another.
Yeah?
Like me, they go make fun of my finger. Somebody try to rob me off and run for me like one shit will catch me.
Uh-oh. That's crazy.
So that's why me leave off the road and decide I go fishing with a man, then eventually own down.
Nice. How long you fishing now?
Yeah. Yes.
5 years? Yeah. Somebody told me you don't fish as often.
Yeah. Well, I did have some engine problem, and after I carried that guy and jumped in, kind of get fear for water after. Start to build back my fear. Yeah. Go dive, man. Go back to man, never come back. Yeah.
There's the shit killing me.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Right on me. Vested.
Arsh. It's killing me.
Yeah. Then a policeman did too. Like that man, finna go back. Man, tell me, boy, you have to go. Say, drive have to go and shoot over. So, go down, shoot the fish, but he never come back. The fish had gone and he come back. Yeah. I stand up behind him. Well, for me, the catching of bread. Yeah. So he went back and he black out. And he had a weight belt. And then number 4 level is about 12 pounds. So he couldn't float. Yeah. So this thing never go through there, like. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been stand up here in the drop flat, kind of feel the part of my body. Yeah. Yeah. The stone touch now.
One down, I don't know how many more to go, but it better be this cooler filled of fish by the time we're done. Having a snack. But I'm trying to call the fish.
Not them one,
fishy.
big black one.
Come bite, come. Wait, no, the other side.
Oh, it's against the lot to eat.
Them out.
Yeah. Just now we ain't seen them board again, them board they gone back foreign.
Bye bye.
They just come for season. When we see them board, there ain't no time to catch palang. Use the palang and catch fish. Hine, butterfish.
Yeah. We're going out a little further because we only got one and nothing was biting. So this bank, we need to go to a different bank. A bank with money.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bank with money. We need to go a different bank with yellow, butterfish, and 2 redfish.
A black fin and
a black fin
and a round head.
and a round head.
Right.
I guess this
That's
is
what you call a black fin. You see, you have a black by the fin?
where?
Right, the same one.
This one?
Yeah, see the black
Oh, this?
Yeah,
Ah.
that's a black fin.
Black fin.
And
Nice.
the big red one is that one is a round head.
Round head.
Yeah.
You have a
this-
round head? It has a round head.
And that one is a silk,
Silk.
the big red one.
This one.
Yeah.
Silk. Right. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We didn't do too badly.
Are they taking?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hey, give me some ice.
Yeah.
Can I have some bait? These guys do this for the entire morning, right? So it's like you're filleting the fish. Okay, something like that. Yeah. And then this. Nah, here, so don't need a sinker. It's and then I see them just slice. You keep them on fish. And slice. Okay, I am going to take this off. I don't know if this is too big or what, but whatever. Where's the hook? Oh, yeah. So I'm going to try my luck now that I've learned a bit more. So there you have it. By now, I think everybody has a great appreciation for the work that fishermen do. And I want to take this time to wish everybody a happy Fisherman's Day, especially the fishermen and women of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As a matter of fact, the entire world. It's not an easy job, but somebody has to do it. And we really appreciate your hard work. Today we spent about $100 on gas. We brought in 5 fishes, or 5 fish, whatever. 5 fishes, 5 different species, whatever. We just scrap that and edit it.
No!
And sometimes they go out and they don't get any. Sometimes they come in and they bring in a big haul. So big up yourselves one time. Thank you so much for the work that you do and for feeding us. I am going to attempt to catch one right here on the jetty in Calico. So take care. Bye-bye. Yeah! Once caught a fish! It's so small! Catch it! Catch it! So small! You ain't catch it yet!
Okay, I'm not ready to do this.
No!
Okay.
Once upon...
Yeah, that's too small.
Captain! Set the sail! Set the sail! Set the sail! Set the sail! Whale pussy! Whale pussy! Whale pussy! We going down! We going down! We going back! We going China one! Me get whale pussy! Whale pussy! Whale pussy! Where we going?
Take a deep breath. Breathe. Can you feel it? The air in your lungs. The essence and spirit of life in the air. This is paradise.
Cause I will never let you down again.
These days, we can all agree that our healthcare is more important than ever. And to complement our healthcare system, welcome to the Medical Emergency Center, also called the MEC. Let me tell you all about us. Conveniently located at number 4, 6th Avenue, Belleville. We are a private hospital with state-of-the-art equipment, private rooms, and we promise a caring and confidential experience. We specialize in treatment of coronary artery disease, clogged and blocked heart arteries with angioplasty and stenting, treatment of end-of-heart failure with cardiac resynchronization therapy devices, treatment of all heart diseases, including pacemaker therapy, and acute treatment of heart attack and stroke. Plus, we have a highly skilled response team on standby 24 hours a day, and we have an air ambulance on standby. For appointments or emergencies, call or message us on WhatsApp at 826-4147 or call us on our landline at 624-3278. For more information, visit the Medical Emergency _Center 246 on Instagram and the Medical Emergency Center Hospital on Facebook. All are welcome at the Medical Emergency Center, proudly helping to take Barbados one step closer to a future of optimum health care.
Take a deep breath. Breathe. Can you feel it? The air in your lungs. The essence and spirit of life in the air.
Don't tell me about work, I out on the road today. Me and some pretty beaches, I out on the boat today. I don't care what time of day it is, I drinking rum today. Having fun today. Yeah! Holiday, today is a holiday. I don't care what the...
Imagine the South Coast without its magic. No sound of waves rolling against the shore. No birds diving into the crystal clear waters. No laughter on the beaches. Our South Coast is a source of life and livelihood. It's a sanctuary for fishermen who rise with the sun, casting their nets to bring fresh seafood to our tables. But they face growing challenges: rising sea temperatures, storms, and pollution, which threaten their way of life and the very fish they rely on. For our hoteliers, the South Coast is an irreplaceable attraction, inviting travelers from around the world. Yet, with climate change, storms grow stronger, and beach erosion steals away the beauty we all cherish. For marine tour operators, every dive and tour is an invitation to witness the magic below the waves. For marine tour operators, every dive and tour is an invitation to witness the magic below the waves. But pollution and coral bleaching are threatening these habitats, and with them, our chance to experience the wonders of the underwater world. For residents, this coast is home, a place to raise families, to feel the sea breeze, and to watch our children play on clean sands. But pollution and litter are changing this place, bringing the threat of a coastline lost. Imagine if all of this just disappeared. No fish, no corals, no sandy beaches. We have a choice. We can protect the South Coast, or we can watch it fade. Together, we can preserve this place for generations to come. Every action matters. Every choice counts. So join us in protecting the South Coast.
SVG, get ready. The National Lotteries Authority is now offering more chances to win with 3D and Play 4 now 3 times a day. 3 times a day. There's a morning draw at 11 a.m., afternoon draw time 3 p.m., and the night draw from 9 p.m. Get your tickets for 3D and Play 4 now drawn 3 times daily, Monday to Saturday. All from the National Lotteries Authority, giving you more chances to win. New draw times will begin from Monday, May 26th. Any terms and conditions apply.
Hi guys, I'm Chantal and this is Carnival Hop on VC3 TV.
Vincent, baddest thing.
And high road.
So we had to make a stop at Blue Lagoon, or some people might know it CSY, to get some gas. Because we can't be in the water without gas, okay? And he threw some oil in that, and we are basically ready to go and fish.
Yes.
Does this happen?
Really, this like what I take it out for the guy even going properly.
Nothing wrong. Okay. Fisherman said. Oh, they're passing us. Y'all got food and they bring none for us? Oh, look at those waves. My God. And so where we going again? I'm going to get no tuna. Never know?
Never know.
Good
Like a
man
shark.
said never. A shark? I get shark.
Where the pussy? Where the pussy? Where we going done? We going done. We going back where? We going China one. Me get. Where the pussy? Where the pussy? Where the pussy? Where we going done? We going done. We going back where? We going union. Me get.
How do you know where to go?
Landmarks.
Landmarks? Yeah.
Using antenna.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they're using the antennas as landmarks. So when are you going to stop? When you reach on the bank? Okay. Alright, so we're learning today. We're learning quite a bit. When you reach on the bank. So Gucci Man is preparing. He has some small bait, putting it onto the hook. Ways boy. Ways. Just a little tilted. Smith. I thought that much of wave they wanna walk. Y'all have a real stomach boy. Come out here every day. Okay. So maybe that bird is an indicator that there's fish here. There's what? They seeing tuna? I tell all them catching tuna today.
Well, this type of fishing we're going to do is more for snapper.
Snapper.
Yeah. Redfish,
Okay.
barracuda, might probably catch some pufali, shark. All type of fish just be on the bank, but majority on the bank is redfish.
Redfish. Oh, that's some redfish today. I would be honest, I'm a bit nervous because I feel like we're in the middle of the ocean. What's the longest y'all ever stayed out here?
Night.
Till night?
From morning till night.
Just sitting here?
Sitting there, setting down stone, bringing up fish.
So y'all just have time to reflect on life too.
Yeah. Sometimes we sit down, we smoke, we drink, we talk, jokes, make fun of one another.
Yeah?
Like, you don't make fun of my finger. Somebody try to rob me off and run for me like one shit will catch me later.
Uh-oh. That's crazy.
So that's why me leave off the road and decide I go fishing with a man, then eventually own boat now.
Nice. How long you fishing now?
After I carried that guy and the jungle, kind of get fear for water after. Start to build back my fear. Yeah. Go dive, man. No matter man never come back. Yeah.
Where's the spinning me?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Right down there. Wested.
Arsh. It's kidding me.
Yeah. Then a policeman came too. Like that man, finna go back. Man, tell me, boy, you have to go. Check, have to go, man, shoot over. Swim. Go down, shoot the fish, but he never come back. Fish at the pond and he come back. Yeah. I stand up there. Well, to me, the catching of bread. Yeah. So he went back and he black hole. And he had a weight belt. And then number 4 letter is about 12 pounds. So he couldn't float. Yeah. Saddest thing ever go through my life. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been stand up here and they drop flat, kind of feel the part of my body. Yeah. Yeah. The stone touched down. Yeah.
So if this stone is touching, then how can you tell when fish?
You can feel the fish pulling in the island.
Okay, alright. Oh my god.
The first set in the boat and the one come off.
The other one come off? Oh my god. That is so rewarding.
Ha ha ha. You don't hear them?
Hello. Come close to me. I'm so sorry. But you taste good.
When I be a snapper, right?
Yeah.
Snapper.
So guess what?
No, Bonza.
Guess what?
No, you didn't catch it.
Like this, we get one.
We got a snapper. One down. I don't know how many more to go, but it better be this cooler filled of fish by the time we're done. Having a snap. But I'm trying to call the fish.
Not
Here,
them one.
fishy.
Big black one.
Come bites, come. Wait, no, the other side. Here,
Oh, it's
fishy,
against the
fishy,
lot to
fishy.
eat.
Them out.
Yeah. Just now we ain't seen them board again. Them board they gone back foreign.
Bye bye.
They just come for season. When we see them board, there ain't no time to catch palang. Use the palang and catch fish. High in butterfish.
Yeah. We're going out a little further because we only got one and nothing was biting. So this bank, we need to go to a different bank. A bank with money.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bank with money. We need to go to a different bank with money. So we're going out a little further and we're cheating a little bit because we're looking at another fishing boat that's not moving. So that looks like they're catching fish there. So we went there. Movements.
Something now give me a nice tug there, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Them big amber.
Oh.
Wait there. I'll clear up first, yeah? Just stay ready right there.
2.
Okay, wait there.
Cap, where we going? Okay, we're going north. She said we're going north, right? We are the north right now. See what is what outside.
Captain! Set the sail! Set the sail! Set the sail! Set the sail! Whale pussy! Whale pussy! Whale pussy! We going down! We going down! We going back way! We going China 1! Me get whale pussy! Whale pussy! Whale pussy!
So we're back. Spent a few hours. Somebody got seasick. I'm not gonna say who,
I'll add the video.
but we were able to
Yeah,
catch 1, 2, 3,
What you got?
4, 5. 5 fish. I can't remember their names. What's this again? Snapper.
Yeah, that's a snapper.
Snapper,
Kuvali. a
yellow butterfish, and 2
black
redfish.
fin, a black fin, and
A black fin
a wrong head.
and a round head.
Right.
I guess this
That's
is
what you call a black fin. You see, you have a black by the fin.
where?
Right, the same one.
This one?
Yeah, see the black.
Or this?
Yeah,
Ah.
that's a black fin.
Black fin.
Yes.
Does this happen?
Really, this like what I take it down for the guy even going properly.
Nothing wrong. Okay. Fisherman said. Oh, they're passing us. Y'all got food and they bring none for us? Oh, look at those waves. My God. And so where's we going again?
Yeah, Rockford.
Okay. And that's where you will find like redfish? So I ain't going to get no tuna? I ain't going to get no tuna? Never know?
Never know.
Gucci man says never. A shark? I go shark.
Where the pussy? Where the pussy? Where we got the gun? We got gun. We got back where? We got Jana one. Me get where the pussy? Where the pussy? Where the pussy? Where we got the gun? We got gun. We got back where? We got union. Me get
How do you know where to go?
Landmarks.
Landmarks? Yeah.
Using antenna.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they're using the antennas as landmarks. So when are you going to stop? When you reach on the bank? Okay. Alright, so we're learning today. We're learning quite a bit. When you reach on the bank. So Gucci man is preparing. He has some small bait, putting it onto the hook. Ways boy. Ways. We're just a little tilted. It's a bit. I thought that much of wave they wanna walk. Y'all have a real stomach boy. Come on here every day. Okay. So maybe that bird is an indicator that there's fish here. There's what? They see tuna? I tell all I'm catching tuna today.
Well, this type of fishing we're going to do is more for snapper.
Snapper.
Yeah. Redfish,
Okay.
barracuda, might probably catch some pufali, shark. All type of fish just be on the bank, but majority on the bank is redfish.
Redfish. It's redfish today. I would be honest, I'm a bit nervous because I feel like we're in the middle of the ocean. What's the longest y'all ever stayed put here?
Night.
Till night?
From morning till night.
Just sitting here?
Sitting there, setting down stone, bringing up fish.
Y'all just have time to reflect on life too.
Yeah. Sometimes we sit down, we smoke, we drink, we talk, jokes, make fun of one another.
Yeah?
Like me, they go make fun of my finger. Somebody try to rob me off and run for me like one shit, really catch me.
Oh. That's crazy.
So that's why me leave off the road and decide I go fishing with a man, then eventually own.
Nice. How long you fishing now?
Yeah. Yes.
5 years? Yeah. Somebody told me you don't fish as often.
Yeah. Well, I did have some engine problem, and after I carried that guy and jumped in, kind of get fear for water after. Start to build back my fear. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to members of the media, those who are listening on various platforms of the government entities, API, VC3, NBC Radio, and of course those who are here, members of the media. Good morning. I'm indeed happy to be here with you this morning to provide some updates on tourism-related matters. We have with me Ms. Annette Matt, CEO of the Tourism Authority, who's I'm here to provide some brief synopsis of some developments within the Tourism Authority. And of course, with me is Rodney Small, the CEO of the Carnival Development Corporation, who's going to share some insights as it relates to Vincy Mas 2025. And of course, we'll crystallize a number of points which both CEOs will raise, and of course, questions from the media. We just returned, Annette and I and our team from the Tourism Authority, we just returned from a week-long meeting in New York, the Caribbean Tourism Organization's Caribbean Week. In fact, this activity is scheduled annually, every year around June, the first week in June. We go into New York for a number of B2B meetings, networking with travel advisors and stakeholders in the US source market. And of course, unlike previous years, this year St. Vincent and the Grenadines played a very important role as a featured destination, hosting a business luncheon for a number of key stakeholders and travel advisors in the New York tri-state area. So I'm going to provide a bit of update on that. One of the key elements of the business luncheon we had was the launching of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Global Travel Advisors Diamond Rewards Program. Of course, this is facilitated through the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority, where we are launching a training exercise where we are certifying travel advisors who are assigned to the US market and also the Canadian market in North America, and those in the United Kingdom and further east in Europe, to be onboarded as certified and official travel partners and advisors who are going to book flights, book hotel rooms and tour operating services to the destination. Of course, this is something which we have been looking at for quite some time, and I'm happy that the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority were able to lead on this initiative in New York. And just to provide some insights as to what this program is, of course, Annette is going to go into a bit more details about the program and how does it benefit St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But we strategically are aligning with a number of our key stakeholders, including the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Hotel and Tourism Association, of course, Sandals. We'll also be working with the American Society for Travel Advisors, ASTA. In fact, the New York chapter, the lead travel advisors in the New York chapter were part of our business luncheon at the CTO week in New York. And just to give you an idea as to the importance of travel advisors to the global travel and tourism market, ASTA in the US alone represents over 190,000 certified travel advisors in the US market alone, and contributes in terms of total sales over 100 billion annually as it relates to that source market. In fact, they sell airline tickets, hotels, cruise packages, tours, and among other services which are aligned to the tourism sector. And of course, ASTA's membership in the US, they have the US largest corporate travel management companies assigned to their membership. And the YDSOG Diamond Rewards Program, 50% of travelers currently are likely to book with a travel advisor than in previous periods. In fact, the COVID-19 pandemic taught us a very important lesson, how important the role of travel advisors are to the tourism sector. Because when you're trapped abroad, countries of closed borders, there are tropical or natural disasters or hazards, or there is an incident that is man-made, you can't go online and seek a refund or try to get bookings.com or Expedia to get you out of the country. In fact, travel advisors, they are your trusted and reliable source of information, and they are able to navigate getting you into and out of a country within a period of rapidity. So, of course, there has been a spike since the global health pandemic in the use of travel advisors and travel agencies globally. And the projections are showing that year on year there was a 32% increase in agency bookings for travel advisors across the US market. By next year, 2026, they will account for some 26% of the total travel market, with a share of expected trajectory of $141 billion in revenue. So we're talking about a very big cross-section of the industry that is being utilized to generate a number of revenue streams and measures, not just within the travel and tourism sector, but also for stakeholders here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we are happy to align with them. And why New York? Why we chose the CTO's Caribbean Week to have this business luncheon to launch the Global Travel Advisors Diamond Rewards. In fact, the New York chapter of ASTA has some 10,500 plus registered members. They're one of the largest chapters in the US market, followed by DC. Of course, Florida is a bit more than the New York chapter. But of course, they are partially majority of the members who are registered within the ASTA association in the US. Of course, we're going to take this business luncheon to Toronto. We have to also take it to the UK, where we launch this Diamond Awards program. And of course, DC and Florida. We have to see how we can reach out to stakeholders who are in the business of selling to our destination. I want to use this opportunity as well, of course, and it will elaborate a bit more on the Diamond Rewards program and this Grand Gala Award ceremony, which we'll have at the end of the program to celebrate and recognize the top sales executives and travel advisors who are part of this program when they sign on. But I want to use this opportunity to share with you the first quarter performance in tourism numbers for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I know Desmarie, when she came here earlier today, she's anticipating some big news. And I said to her, in fact, we have some very positive news. In fact, the numbers are showing that St. Vincent and the Grenadines continues to expand and to do well. We're rapidly growing as an emerging tourism destination and a globally competitive tourism destination. And last year, we had a record-breaking year in stay-over arrivals. Most of the country would know this because the announcement was made before, where we had over 102,766 stay-over visitors to the island, which represented a 27.2% increase on the previous year's performance. It was the first time in our country's history that we were seeing numbers of over 100,000 stay-over arrivals to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It has never been done before, never been accomplished in all of our time as a tourism destination, and largely due to our build-out, infrastructure build-out, the connectivity that we're seeing with air transportation through Argyle International Airport, and our strategic alliances and networking with the Hotel and Tourism Association, the travel agencies who are aligned to the airlines, and of course working collaboratively with Sandals and ASTA on all of these important stakeholders led to the numbers which we're seeing. I want to just share with you in relative terms, St. Vincent and the Grenadines last year led the Caribbean region in terms of tourism growth. We were, as I said, 27.2%, followed by Curacao at 20.3%, and St. Martin at 19.8%. Now, when I say we have led in tourism growth, it doesn't mean that we had mass tourism or the most people visiting for any Caribbean island. But what we had was the highest growth rate across all of the Caribbean islands when the numbers came in to CTO to give a synopsis of the performance for last year tourism numbers. And of course, St. Vincent and the Grenadines led where that's concerned. In 2025, we are already seeing signs of positive growth. Our performance indicators for the first quarter of 2025 shows a 12.8% increase over the same period last year. So for the very first quarter of 2025, we are showing a 12.8% increase on our first quarter numbers for last year, which in fact was our best performing year last year. So we're now 12.8% up. There's an uptick. And our local numbers are showing 2.9%, but the CTO numbers have ranked us at 2.8%. There's some variance there, but by and large, we are seeing an uptick in our first quarter performance. During the Caribbean Week at CTO, they released a report on arrivals during the first quarter of 2025. 11 reporting destinations saw growth from the United States, with 13 destinations exceeding their 2019 pre-pandemic performance. In terms of the arrivals from the U.S. source market for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we saw the strongest growth of 74.8%, followed by Curacao at 23.5%, Barbados at 22%, and Antigua at 12.4% as the best performing performances attracting visitors from the United States in the first quarter of 2025. In fact, when you look at these numbers, you will see St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the strongest growth performance in the entire Caribbean region at 74.8%, and the projected growth of 23.5%. You can see the distance in terms of where we performed. We outperformed many of the other Caribbean destinations as it relates to the visitors coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and to the Caribbean region from the U.S. source market. So this is really a number which, in fact, at the CTO Business Week, a lot of the ministers were asking, well, what's the magic formula? What are we doing in St. Vincent where we're now seeing such a huge spike of 74.8% in our growth, specifically from the source market, the U.S. source market. Of course, as I indicated earlier, overall, that growth is 12.8% across the board from all of the source markets to St. Vincent and the Grenadines as a destination. But specific to the U.S. market, we have outflanked and outranked every other Caribbean island and Caribbean destination, posting figures of 74.8%, followed by Curacao at 23.5%, Barbados at 22%, and Antigua at 12.4%. The overall performance of the first quarter, out of the 20 reporting destinations, and I want to stress reporting destinations, while majority of the destinations reported their numbers, one or two of them may not have had their numbers tabulated and sent to the CTO for reporting to be entered into the pool. But for all of the 20 reporting destinations, 13 destinations saw positive growth performances, with the strongest coming from Curacao overall at 16.6%, followed by St. Vincent and the Grenadines at 12.8%, Bermuda at 9.8%, on Dominica, another Eastern Caribbean island, at 9.6% across all source markets. So where all source markets, the numbers are concerned, we are ranked second to Curacao, which is showing a 16.6% growth in the first quarter of 2025. Second to St. Vincent and the Grenadines at second, with a 12.8% growth rate across all source markets in terms of persons coming to the Caribbean region as visitors. The destination's performance, of course, is reflective of the transformation that is taking place within our country's tourism. And I want to indicate key drivers for growth, including our tourism infrastructure build-out, greater collaboration, as I said earlier, with stakeholders. And no doubt the international airport at Argyle had a significant role to play in what we're seeing now in our transformation as a globally competitive tourism destination. Quite frankly, without Argyle International Airport and without the vision of building the Argyle International Airport, we would not be seeing the numbers we're seeing here now. We will not be seeing the tourism development and infrastructural development around hotel room stock that we're seeing on island here. And of course, air connectivity, and as airline expand routes and increase flight frequency to the destination, this is what we're seeing in our numbers in terms of our performance indicators. We continue to position St. Vincent and the Grenadines as a globally competitive tourism destination. And as we expand our tourism here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we're focused on innovation, enhanced market intelligence, greater collaboration, of course, as I said, with stakeholders. And I continue to push the envelope with the Tourism Authority regarding market intelligence, because without data, without driving to know where our best performance are coming from our source markets, what's the next trend in terms of visitors, what are they interested in and where are they interested in going, and what is happening in the South American, the Latin market, what is happening in Eastern Europe, what is the stock exchange or the stock market is saying in the UK or in the US, to really forecast what the expenditure or the disposable income that is available for visitors to the Caribbean and other regions that they have at their disposal to spend when they travel, the length of time that they're spending when they travel, when they take their vacation breaks, are all scientific data that we have to work manually decoding as well as using AI and other technology to really come up with a simulation as to what our forecasts are likely to be, who our target market and our source market. We're now seeing a very interesting trend among persons who are solo travelers. They're spiked in terms of their growth. A number of people are traveling by themselves. They want to just discover and explore, and they're not interested in the traditional sun, sea, and sand type destinations. They want to go to new places. They want to explore different experiences. They want to go under a waterfall, hike a volcano. They want to go to the rugged terrains of Curacao and St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Dominica. And that's reflected in the numbers we're seeing in terms of growth coming out of the U.S. market. And it's a telling indication that St. Vincent and the Grenadines, our tourism is in the right direction, and I'm happy for the continued support of all of the stakeholders within the industry, the Ministry of Tourism, the Permanent Secretary who's driving with the Director of Tourism a lot of initiatives there, as well as the Tourism Authority, Annette Mag, the incoming CEO, who continues to support a wonderful team who's providing a lot of support for us, especially our Directors of Sales in our source markets. So, of course, tourism continues to be one of the leading contributors to our gross domestic product, and it's perhaps the leading contributor to direct and indirect employment on the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. When you factor in the job creations that are significantly put in place due to linkages within the industry, almost every cross-section of the population, whether you're a fisher folk, a farmer, a tour operator, a taxi operator, a tour guide, a bartender, someone in the hospitality space, even accountants, security personnel, drivers, almost every cross-section of the society, and we can safely say, is impacted by the tourism product. And revenue is not only generated within the tourism sector, but also the linkages that are created. There's an offshoot to other sectors within the country and within the economy that benefits significantly from tourism. And I'm happy to be the Minister of Tourism who's leading the charge in this important time in our period in our history as a emerging tourism destination, and we continue to see these numbers grow. Projections for second quarter leading into Vincy Mas. I just want to give a few insights as to where we are in terms of our tourism numbers. So far, the projections are showing continued growth. I recall around this time last year, we held a press briefing to give an update on our numbers leading into the carnival season and just before the ICC World Cup. And in fact, what we were showing then was a 75 to 80% capacity in terms of occupancy rate at hotels. I'm happy to report that the same period this year, almost every major hotel in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is at 100% occupancy for the tourism the carnival season. Across the board, when you factor in some of the smaller boutique type operations and accommodations, we are roughly about 95% thereabout in terms of total occupancy. But every major leading hotel, if you call them, pick up the phone and you call them to get equipment and crew. Equipment as in the case of equipment and crew. Equipment as in the case of aircraft, the availability of aircraft, and of course crew to man these aircrafts coming into the destination. But by and large, we're seeing good numbers in terms of the airlines. They're reporting very positive pre-season bookings ahead of the Vincy Mas period. And of course, one airline has signaled the intention to add additional seats to the destination during that period. I just want to, while on that note, indicate that, again, Delta, we will see the introduction of Delta to the destination. I will let them make that announcement in terms of their schedule and so on, but we're likely to see Delta coming into the destination in the latter quarter of this year. Again, this is a tremendous opportunity for us to add a lot more visitors to the destination, and hopefully our numbers will hold and we will see the consistency and another record-breaking year in terms of sea arrivals to the destination. I want to just urge the hoteliers to ensure that let us work towards having year-round occupancy. We have to obviously collaborate with the airline vacation partners. Out of Air Canada, there's Air Canada Vacations, there's Virgin Vacations, JetBlue also has a vacation arm, Caribbean Airlines as well, I believe, has a vacation arm. But they are primarily responsible for also selling not just seats on airlines, but also rooms. And if they're able to sell more rooms, it means that more hotels are going to be filled, more airlines are going to be filled to capacity, and it means that we're going to move not from just having the 3 times a week or the twice weekly flights, but we can move to daily flights for all major airlines coming from the source markets. And that is something that I'm really working towards, and I want to work closely with the hoteliers and the SCG Hotel and Tourism Association to ensure that we are able to provide that supporting mechanism in place to support the travel advisors and the vacation arm of the airlines to ensure that there's always availability and accessibility to rooms on the destination. Again, I want to encourage local investors to continue working with the Ministry of Tourism. There are a number of concessionary measures that are in place. I want to encourage you to continue working with the Ministry of Tourism to facilitate the build out of more room stock. Of course, work closely as well with the Tourism Authority, the destination marketing partners, the airlines and travel advisors. I want to increase our room stock on island. I want to see us ramp up the room stock on island. And for us to do this, we're heading closely to a number of 3,000 rooms on island. We're somewhere in the ballpark figure of about 26, 27 registered room stock capacity, but unofficially, when you factor in those who are unregistered, we're closely to a number of 3,000. But I want to also encourage those who are not registered. Call the Tourism Authority. In fact, right now as we speak for Vincy Mas, there is a shortage of rooms. Call the Tourism Authority. Indicate your availability for registration purposes. Indicate your availability for room stock so that we can put you on to people who are calling us constantly, calling Vincy Mas headquarters here at the CDC, trying to find rooms, trying to find accommodation. Reach out to the Tourism Authority. Get yourself tourism approved. Get yourself registered. Again, there's some hesitancy because there's that notion that if you're tourism approved, then you're signaling the income tax department or the tax department to come to knock on your door. I want to say, while the tourism authority is working with the government and is a statutory body, it's in your interest to be registered. They're not there to police you to check your revenue. What they're there to do is to improve on the quality and standard of your rooms and to ensure that you're tourism approved, you're registered as a tourism approved member, so that when we go out to the source markets, we can recommend your apartments, we can recommend your accommodation, we can say, look, this is a lovely family-run operation, a bed and breakfast in Pembroke or in Dorsetshire Hill or in Cedars or wherever you're operating from. We want to be able to sell your destination. And for us to do that, you have to go through a number of license processes in terms of the Tourism Authority to become an approved tourism establishment. And I want us to continue to push in that direction to ensure that we continue to see positive growth as it relates to our numbers. Just to briefly touch on Vincy Mas, of course, the CEO of the tourism of the Carnival Development Corporation is here, who will share a lot more insights on Vincy Mas. But I want to encourage Vincentians to come out to the tents. Officially, I think the tents, we're signaling the start of the tent season. They've had some, I would call it dress rehearsals, but we're going into the judging preliminary as of tomorrow, Wednesday, right back to Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I'm encouraging you to come out. Russell, still at Russell's? At Russell's, let's come out and support the creatives and support our Calypsonians. Of course, those who are booking with the mass bands, including the traditional mass. I want us to register early. Let us get the resources into the mass tent so that they can buy the costumes, the raw materials for the costumes, and they can start building the costumes. And I know that our musicians and talented artists, they're in the studios as we speak. They're working around the clock overnight to produce good music. I've been hearing some good quality music from a number of young emerging artists, and it augurs well for the holistic development of the festival. And I want to encourage all of you to support the components, including PAN. Panorama this year is anticipating to be one of the biggest panoramas. I want to see the whole of St. Vincent and the Grenadines come out to Victoria Park. Come out to wherever there's the CDC endorsed events. Let us also support the private sector events. A number of them, the all-inclusives and parties that are taking place. Rural Carnival, it's in full steam. North Leeward Rural Carnival, South Leeward, there's the Wynwood, the St. George's went already, but let us, and then in Canawan as well, let us continue to support the components, let us support our creatives, because in order for this festival to work, it requires the full support of every Vincentian being on board. And we will have our criticisms, we'll have our constructive remarks to make, and that will help build the festival and help to build on what we have as a template and a framework for Vincy Mas. But let us continue to encourage and support the components. Let us continue to really immerse ourselves into this festival, one of the largest festivals in the entire Caribbean region, Vincy Mas. And we have to continue to sell the product. And I can safely say from the work we have done in the source markets, Vincy Mas is officially sold out. And it's now for us as Vincentians to now define, craft, and design the package that we call Vincy Mas to ensure that we can start selling Vincy Mas for 2026 at a number of the festivals. I want to end here, but to again thank all us where we are in our tourism numbers, where we are with our festivals, where we are in terms of the performance indicators, which are showing a rapid growth of 12.8% on the best year we had, which was last year. The first quarter of this year is outperforming the best year we had last year. And in terms of our source market, where we are seeing a 74.8% increase from the U.S. market in terms of tourism arrivals to the destination. There's no other Caribbean destination that has seen this significant level of growth within the first quarter of 2025. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we're here, we're globally competitive, and we're here to stake a flag in the ground at St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have finally arrived as one of the leading Caribbean tourism destinations across the Caribbean source markets. And I want to thank you guys, all of the stakeholders who have played a significant role in these numbers we're reflecting here and reporting here to you, to members of the media, and to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want to just briefly hand over to Annette Mark, who's going to go into a bit more details of some of the work that she's been doing. The success we've seen with the inaugural sailing week. We had our very first St. Vincent and the Grenadines sailing week this year in Q1. It's really signaling where we are going in terms of our tourism product. I want to indicate that across the board, we have seen some declines in yachting, not just in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but the Caribbean region is facing some challenges externally with yachting. Maybe other markets are providing a competitive edge in terms of activities and events. But I want to say that launching our sailing week, we could not have done it at a better time, because where we're seeing a slight decline in yachting across the board in terms of the Caribbean destinations, jumping ahead and re-energizing and igniting the yachting tourism sector in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is going to, with our sailing week, is going to ensure that we continue to have our numbers roll over, and it is positive marketing for the yachting tourism for our destination. We saw, again, consistent growth in cruise as well this year, and though we had continued expansion of the cruise sector, where we had another record performing year in terms of arrivals for cruise, we were seeing smaller numbers, slightly smaller numbers, Desmarie, because what we had were a lot more smaller ships coming to the destination as opposed to the larger ships berthing in Kingstown. And one of the challenges to that, again, is our capacity at Port Kingstown. As we know, there's the intention to build out a cruise terminal following the completion of the cargo port in Bottomtown. We're going to expand the space uptown to facilitate larger ships, cruise ships and cruise vessels. But also there is that challenge where in Puerto Rico, which will be considered one of our home ports that connects St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Southern Caribbean, they're also experiencing some challenges where they're expanding their port, and because of the expansion have had limited calls to their destination, which of course affect the calls to the Southern Caribbean and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Cruise passengers are showing they're opting for shorter cruises, 3 and 4 and 5 day cruises, which are going into the Bahamas and the islands further north from Miami. It's an easy trip over. To sail for 11 plus days, 14 days from Miami to the Caribbean, the Southern Caribbean region, that also poses some challenge. So to have Puerto Rico as a home port, where they can fly into Puerto Rico and to move to the Southern Caribbean, we will see a lot more registered ships to the Southern Caribbean. The projections are going to show that by 2027, 2028, look out for St. Vincent and the Grenadines emerging again as a leading cruise tourism destination as a result of those connectivities and collaboration as it relates to cruise. But I'm happy with the numbers we have, and our stay-over arrival numbers and overall tourism numbers there's an uptick, and I'm quite pleased with the numbers we're seeing. A 12% plus increase on our best performing year last year in Q1 of 2025. I will hand over now to Annette Mark, who is the CEO of the Tourism Authority.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here this morning. And Minister, thank you for that great overview on our tourism performance. Rodney, good morning to you. PS, our great PS, who's been a wonderful support since joining the ministry. Thank you for being here this morning, and to everyone. I just want to pick up on a little point that your last point, Minister, about our cruise performance. One of the things we came out from Sea Trade earlier this year, and one of the things we noted at Sea Trade is that a lot of very high-end, very ultra-high-end, smaller vessels approached us because it's in keeping with our high-end product. They want us to create and curate special experiences for them. They want to be off the beaten path. And these are ultra high-end persons. And when I tell you one of the boats, that one of the liners that approached us, their stateroom is literally about 10,000 US a night. So you could have an idea of the kind of persons that will be on those boats when they come to St. Vincent. And these are persons that want to spend and go beyond just coming to the destination, but also looking to even invest in the destination. So we were happy to really meet with them and speak with them. Before I actually go into the Diamond Award, details on the Diamond Award, I would just like to pause for a moment for a little visual.
Shine bright like a diamond, shine bright like a diamond. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond.
Thank you. We have an arsenal in our pocket, and our arsenal are our travel advisors. And it's very important that we engage our travel advisors to have butts in seats and heads in beds. And this is one of the reasons our Diamond Reward, we look forward to this Diamond Reward, which will be launched officially on the 1st of July and will run initially to the 30th of June 2026. Very simple. We already have the platform in place, so our travel advisors will simply have to go online, register, take our specialist course, be certified, and then start adding their bookings of flights and accommodation to the portal. We look forward to seeing this. We look forward to seeing the growth and engaging our advisors. And we will engage them more than just the certification. We're going to have webinars with them. We're going to be constantly in contact with them personally and via mass email. The program allows for rewards monthly to our travel advisors. Our top 3 travel advisors, they will be rewarded monthly. And at the end of it, at the end of the first year, of course, there will be grand prizes awarded to our travel advisors. And of course, beyond that, we will celebrate our travel advisors in grand style in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a awards ceremony. So we will fly our top advisors for the 12 months, our 3 top advisors for the 12 months to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In between that, of course, we will also conduct farm trips, so we will also invite our top performers to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to get to know the product that they are actually selling. So the Diamond Rewards, it is an initiative that my minister and we spoke a lot about, and we are so happy to be launching this award. And also, it is going to be very interactive online. There's going to be a lot of online interactive, and it's going to require our directors of sales to be in the faces of our travel advisors. It is being launched in New York, well, in our major source markets, which would be the US, Canada, and the UK, further afield to Europe initially. It is an exciting program that I look forward to seeing materializing and really seeing the performances and seeing the growth in our tourism arrivals to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I will give further details. Further details will be shared with the media as soon as we finalize online all of the details. It will be disseminated to our media. Beyond that, we have been taking on a number of initiatives. We have been working with a number of initiatives that really, the purpose is to promote excellence, build capacity, and of course, strengthen our international awareness. Minister would have spoken to you about Sailing Week. It was an excellent, if I say so myself, initiative. We had great engagement by the yachting community. It really and truly, what we did was, most of you would know that the Becky Regatta, there was a hiatus with the Becky Regatta prior to COVID, and this initiative of the Sailing Week allowed us to have a rebirth of the Becky Regatta. It was 2 cups, which was the Bougainvillea Cup, and it was the Becky Regatta Cup. So it is now an inclusive sailing week that includes all of the islands of the Grenadines. So there was sailing for the first part of the sailing week in the Southern Grenadines, which highlighted our traditional sailors, our junior sailors, and of course there was some international yachts involved in a number of races around Canawan, around Mairo, and to the Tobago Keys. Next year, this will be expanded to Union Island, and our base will be in Union Island for the Southern Grenadines races. We then moved to Bequia, and of course, I'm sure most of you were here in Bequia. If not, you would have been seeing all of the happenings in Bequia. It was so alive in Bequia. There was so much going on between the onshore committee and the races. It was just a culture pot of excitement in Bequia. What we got a lot of feedback also from the international yachts that were there, and many of them openly said, and also said personally to us, thank you for bringing back the Bequia Regatta and the Sailing Week, and they certainly will be there next year, the 26th, I think it's the 29th to the 29th of March to the 6th of April. Sabongli is reminding me the engagement online was also phenomenal. We literally, for the first time, actually saw 1.4 million engagement across our social media platform, and that was like, that is the first in history for the Tourism Authority, and that's just to show you how much interest there is in our Sailing Week, and we're going to grow this product, and it's going to be the leading Sailing Week in the Caribbean. Apart from this, one of the things that we're looking for, and speaking to other islands in respect to sailing and yachting in the Caribbean, and we have seen a decline, as the minister has said, and there are reasons for this, but we need to bring them back. And we have been speaking to Antigua and Barbuda, and we're looking at doing a feeder race right after our Sailing Week to Antigua, and this will require us going to stopping in St. Lucia and in Dominica. So a total collaboration by the OECS with this feeder race. We need to bring the yachts back to the Caribbean, and we definitely collaboration and working with others will also help with this, with the marketing and just getting the event out there. So we'll be also be doing some co-marketing and branding with Antigua at some point in time. Apart from that, and as a spin-off from working with our travel advisors, we are going to launch an online newsletter which is called Discover SVG Insider. It is a newsletter geared to getting information out to our travel advisors and our stakeholders. So it will be all about the happenings in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, what's new, new hotels, new airlines, any awards, that sort of information that our travel advisors can then use to market St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It will be a bi-monthly edition. So our first edition is actually due in July, and then every 2 months after that. So we look forward to actually launching the first edition of our Discover SVG Insider. Building capacity, we are in discussions with Aquila, which is the FCCA's official partner for training cruise stakeholders. So we are in discussions with them, and we are literally now wrapping up and trying to finalize the date as to when we will have Aquila on island to do sessions of training with our front line persons that interact with the cruise passengers. We want excellence. We want to work with Aquila. We want to make sure that our cruise industry and our frontline persons are well trained, and this is just the beginning of our training in respect of frontline persons when it comes to the cruise industry, which of course will benefit across the board in the hospitality sector. Further to that, we are also in discussions with the Republic of Cuba, who will be also sending a team on island. We're looking at the first week in August. The dates will be announced shortly. They will be sending persons that will be training in the hospitality sector, so bartendering, so as mixologists, butchering, housekeepers, chefs, an entire discipline of persons within the hospitality sector. They will be on island for a month, and we do expect there will be a lot of hands-on and practical training with those persons in the hospitality sector. So we are definitely striving for excellence. Of course, to ensure that there's proper global coverage and that there's when we go out to promote St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are going beyond just the traditional ways of promoting St. Vincent and the Grenadines through leaflet, or we recognize that digital marketing is so important, and the reach, we are able to reach so many other more persons with using digital marketing, and also and then we are also be able to measure who we are reaching and better plan for our marketing strategies. So we will have Wing Whale Media on island from the 2nd of July to the 16th of July, and we're specifically bringing them in so that they're here for Carnival. There will be total coverage of Carnival, and I've been speaking briefly with Rodney. So at the end of this, the content that we will have would be VR videos, and of course when our salespersons go out, they will have the goggles that they will put on, so someone using the goggles is going to have a near almost experience of what it feels like to be at Vincy Mas. And we know we don't party normal, we know we have one of the hottest carnivals in the Caribbean, and this is what we are going out to promote. And when you put on that goggles, you must be feeling like me right now, having goose pimples that, hey, I want to be in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yes, with the metaverse. Yeah, exactly, we're delving into the metaverse. Apart from that, apart from covering Carnival, which will have full coverage, as I said, we will be going out to our sites and of course along the coast, the Grenadines, swimming with the turtles. We're bringing all that, our dive sites. We're capturing our dive sites. And you know, I'm really excited about this. As you can hear from the way that I'm speaking, that I'm really excited about this content that we will be capturing, because I experienced it when I was at Sea Trade. I went to another island that had done the same as us, and I mean, it was phenomenal. The minister actually had that experience also just recently. It was phenomenal. So we look forward to actually adding this form of promotion and content to our marketing. And like I said, we are moving forward as much as possible with digital marketing. I am actually at a roundup because I know everyone wants to hear of Carnival, so I want to pass it over to the big man Rodney. That is because Carnival is in the air, and that is where we are. We will be providing additional information. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madam CEO, Annette Mark, from Tourism Authority, the Honorable Minister, Carlos James, Permanent Secretary, Stimira Brown, Board of Directors of the CDC, the media, good morning. It's truly an exciting time for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and specifically my part of things, Vincy Mas. And I think the Minister is very privileged and lucky with the additions he has to his ministry, because you're definitely seeing the work and the impact from the permanent secretary and Madam CEO, Annette Mark, and for us here at the CDC. We had Vincy Mas at the Carnival Development Corporation. We're ready to go. We are just about 18 days away from the official 10 days of Vincy Mas. And we've 90% wrap up majority of our meetings with our stakeholders. And I could safely say that we are happy and we are excited to go with Vincy Mas. Even if you say tomorrow, time to go, we're ready to go. And that is really a blessing. And before I go into any more information, I just want to say a major thank you to all those persons here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines who came out and supported the launch of Carnival, which we dubbed START, and for those in the diaspora, mainly New York, for the tremendous support that was given to the Vincy Mas brand and the CDC. So thank you for all those persons who took part and who came out and supported the two launches that we had. I also want to take this opportunity to say thank you and a major congratulations to all the rural committees who have had a successful staging of their events. And to let you know that it continues over this weekend. We're going to Wynwood, and I think there's some activations in North Leeward again. And not forgetting Canawan and Beckway. So, I mean, Minister, I think we should have some persons staying over, outside of the carnival period to support Beckway and Canawan. So the room stock that you're talking about throughout the year, we can assure you that from Vincy Mas, we're going to make sure that we have activities to keep people here. One of the releases that we put out this morning for persons who are listening is that we just extended the Soca Monarch semi-final registration, and that is not because we don't have enough artists or performers. It's just that yesterday was a holiday and there were some persons who didn't get to register, so we decided that we're going to do an extension. And I could tell you this much, the numbers that we're seeing in terms of persons who are applying, it's a clear indication that Raga Soca and my fellow director, Mr. Kaba, would say Calypso on a whole is really at a good place here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I mean, in a previous press conference, I give the assurance that you're going to see a new Vincy Mas with some unique twists, with some collaborations and marriage. And I could safely say that we have successfully basically approved all of these things that we've mentioned earlier in our press conference. And I'm just going to go into some of the new ones and some of the newness that you're going to experience in Vincy Mas 2025. We now have an event called Bacchanal Bay, which is the return of the Soca Monarch semi-finals. And that is going to happen at the E.T. Joshua Tarmac. A lot of persons are asking, but there's no bay at the E.T. Joshua Tarmac. But as creatives, we will tell you that there will be a bay, right? So I'm asking persons to support our soca artists, Raga and soca artists on that day, as we're taking 40 persons to the semi-finals. So I think the last time I checked, we have about 100 and something applicants, and we're going to narrow that down to 40, 20 in Raga and 20 in soca. And we're starting this event at 2 p.m., and it's going to be a beach, cooler fete kind of activity. So, Minister, you have the opportunity to show off your tourism wear and outfit at this event.
White or
right?
black sand?
Huh?
White or black sand?
White or black sand?
Which one, white or black sand?
You'll find out. You will find out when you get there. But book it and show there would be a bay. And this event is only $30. Right? There's no early board, there's no VIP, it's $30, and it's going to be a beach and cooler fete. And when I say beach, you're going to come and witness a beach, you're going to come and be on the beach, and you're going to come and be a part of the beach activities, because we also have adult games, and we have beach activities that persons can look forward to. And as we said earlier, we are creating a lot of marriage. So it's not just about the competition or the content on the stage, but it's about the holistic experience that we would want you to have. So 2 p.m., come out, beach activity, and then we activate the stage from 4 p.m. at the E.T. Joshua Tarmac at Bacchanal Bay. All right? And then we have what we call Rum and Rhythm. A lot of persons have been asking what this is all about. What we did, we went back to the calendar, we went back to the drawing board and look at our products and look at some that needed some enhancement and some that needed some newness, quite naturally. And Rum and Rhythm is the official kickstart of Carnival. We see it as the kickstart party, which starts in 10 days, which used to be Fantastic Friday. Now, we're not discounting or try to devalue Fantastic Friday or the Calypso semifinals, because we also place that in a place where we think would fit better But rum and rhythm is exactly what it says. Rum and rhythm. And if we know carnival outside of the traditional aspect of it and the creative part of it, you cannot separate rum from carnival, right? So it's going to be the kickstart party. It's going to be a block party. It's going to be a rave party. It's going to be a neon party. It's going to be very hip. It's going to be very cool. We're going to have live performances from our soca artists. We're going to have trending DJs from the diaspora and from the local market here. And of course, we're going to have multiple bars set in Victoria Park here because this is the Carnival City and we want to start the 10 days of Carnival in Victoria Park. And again, that event is $30. Very cheap and very safe. And of course, we're going to put out a disclaimer at that event, drink responsibly. All right, PS? So make sure to get those tickets very early as we kickstart the 10 days of our Carnival. Of course, captivating entrances. CEO Mark mentioned about the VR experience. We want to look at the possibility of putting those at our entrances. So as persons come, you have an entire experience while you enter, while you wait to get in. So, I mean, to take away some of that wait time because we know the whole of St. Vincent's coming out to support the CDC event. We're going to have fireworks. I mean, there's going to be a spectacle of lighting. There's going to be the traditional element to really kickstart the 10 days of Carnival. And I would say this now, everything that the CDC do, you're going to always see an element of our traditional and heritage culture of Vincy Mas. Kiddies Carnival, which we call Junior Carnival for me and for some of us here who are that age, we know it as Kiddies Carnival. But this year we're calling it the Kiddies Fun Fiesta, and we've been working closely with the Mass Band Association, CBI, to see how we can make this product one that is very attractive, not only for the kids, but for the entire family. And we're going to transform Victoria Park into an entire Coney Island. For those of you who are old enough, Minister, I don't know if you remember, we had a Coney Island in St. Vincent before, right, Kawa? Yes. And we're going to create that atmosphere right here in Victoria Park. We started conversation with a lot of service providers who have bouncing castles and different games, and we're going to flood this place and make it look like a Coney Island, but paying very close attention to the mass presentation. It's going to be a production for the kids. It's going to be something that, we want persons to look forward to and appreciate the craftsmanship of our mass builders. So that also you can look forward. It's $10 children under the age of 12 and $15 for adults. Very cheap again. And of course, one of my favorite events is an evening with the legends, which is on June 29th, which used to be Calypso semifinals Fantastic Friday. We're now calling that an evening with the legends because in our opinion, or for most of us here, Calypso is legendary. And just to add there, the staging of the semifinals is now celebrating 50 years. So we saw it fit to dub the Calypso semifinals as an evening with the legends. So outside of the 22 Calypsonians, you're going to have some legends who are going to be performing for you, right? So we know who our legends are. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, and we have some invited legends who are also going to be a part of that. But there's a very interesting twist to this event, and I heard the minister keep using the word festival and not carnival. And we at the CDC, that is the approach we're going to take. Because festival has quite a number of different elements. You have the culinary aspect of it, we have the things that we wear, you have the beauty salon. So we want to incorporate all of these things. And at the Evening of Legends, you're going to come and experience a whole culinary experience. So outside of listening to the 22 Calypsonians, we're going to have a 6 p.m. start of a cocktail hour where you're going to go and get different type of foods, of course local, and some exotic kind of food if you don't want to eat local. And then we start the show from 7 p.m. with our 22 Calypsonians and our featured legends. And again, that event is only $40 at the wonderful cruise ship terminal. And we are hoping that person would come and experience the sunset, and we move into this evening with the legends. Junior Calypso and Soca, right here at Victoria Park, big voices, great vibes. That is something, again, we have added some changes to that. Before we would start that event at 2 p.m., we are now starting at 4 p.m. Reason being, we don't want nobody to burn work to come and see the children at 2 p.m. So when you're done work, you can come to Junior Calypso and Soca and see your child or children perform. In addition to that, our marketing team have been doing a tremendous job, and we're going to starting this weekend, we're going to be doing a community tour with all of the finalists. We're taking them to their community so persons can support them and actually get to see them perform their 2025 songs. So all of the finalists, we are doing a caravan and taking them throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines, mainly to the community that they're from. Junior Panorama and Steel and Glitter, this is a full day for Pan and Mas. An entire day. I know a lot of persons have been asking about what happened to Junior Pan, what happened to Steel and Glitter. What the Yolo Pan movement decided is that they're going to put the two panoramas on the same day. So we have a full day of Pan and a Mas presentation. Now the reality is Junior Pan used to start at 2 p.m. and would finish approximately 7 p.m. Then Steel and Glitter would normally start 8. So we basically have a 1-hour window where we can put some elements inside there. So I'm encouraging the entire family to come out, the entire St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as the minister say, not me, and I don't want anybody to say I'm biased, is that this is going to be one of the biggest shows for Vincy Mas 2025, where Pan and Mas is concerned. Kaba, I see you smiling behind here, but that is the reality. We want to make it a full day for Pan, and it's only $10 for Junior Pan. Now we're going to be doing color-coded tickets. So you use your Junior Panorama ticket to get you in between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. After that, we're not going to be accepting any Junior Panorama tickets. The changeover would now be the colored-coded tickets for Steel and Glitter, which would now be $40. So you come at 2 with your Junior Panorama ticket. You come at 6 with your Senior or Steel and Glitter ticket. And there's going to be a full spectacle of Mas, different technology, different lighting, different fireworks that I'm hearing from the Shows Committee and the Mass Bands Association. So that is how that event is going to run. Junior Panorama first, and then we move into Steel and Glitter. Evo, A Night into the Clouds, I would save those details for a big announcement at the end of this week. Honorable Minister, we at the CDC would want to save that excitement, but I could tell you, to those persons who are listening to me, Evo is something that you don't want to miss. And as you hear the tickets go live for Evo, get them. Get them, get them, get them. All right? So I would save that announcement for the end of this week, so persons can look out for that. And of course, the Big Bad Soca Monarch, we're putting a lot of energy into Soca Monarch. Soca Monarch is the Super Bowl event for soca. That's how I see it, and I know a lot of persons are looking forward to it. I am also happy with some of the content that we have in terms of music. We have some work to do with our artists in terms of preparing them for performances, and we will get that done. But we also want to include the crews. We want to give them a sense of belonging because, I mean, that is where Soca Monarch is coming from. So we're also going to look into meeting with the crews and making sure that they could get to Victoria Park. Juve, a heavy push on Juve from the CDC. And I said earlier, everything that we do, we're going to be highlighting our traditional element. And Juve is one of the events that we are going to hold very close, is holding very close to our heart. And one of the changes to Juve is that between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., that time frame is only for traditional Juve elements on the road of Kingstown. So the hi-fi bands would only come on the streets from about 6 a.m. until 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is for traditional Juve. Pan round the neck, the steel orchestras on the streets, the monkey band, everything that is traditional. Anything that could make noise, you can bring it. And we can go right back to what Juve meant and what is the significance of it. So that is something that you could look forward to for Juve morning with all of the traditional elements and our identity. Our online tickets will activate from tonight. I know there's the Mardi Gras and Carnival Monday afternoon and Tuesday. I mean, as I said, I was just listing some of the new things, but of course, the Mardi Gras, we are calling that a royal spectacle. So after we finish the evening with the legends, we're going to bring them to a royal spectacle right in Victoria Park. And then, of course, on Carnival Monday, I mentioned Juve, but Carnival Monday afternoon, also the vibes continue. I'm hearing I got some good news this morning, but I would wait for the stakeholder to announce those, but we are in safe hands. We also want to welcome back the Hot 97 Monday band, and of course Guinness would be on the road, Purple Army, Rebellion. There's a lot of Monday bands. So Minister, all you have to do is just have the multiple T-shirts and just take them off as you walk through. Right, so I'm also encouraging persons to patronize Monday. Mondays is something that, I mean, is traditionally ours. And as I said earlier, our online tickets are going to go live from tonight. So we would send out the link. You could check our social media pages. Our partnership with the private promoters, I want to say this right now. The CDC is not in the business of banning any private promoter event. I don't know where that came from, but I'm going to say it now that we have been working very closely with the private promoters, and we have great partnership going into Vincy Mas with the private promoters. I just want to encourage those who have not sent their letter of request for permission, please do so as soon as you can. We actually have partnerships where we're going to do last call for tickets at some of these events. We're going to be branding Vincy Mas at some of these events. So I just want to make that very clear that the CDC is not in the business of banning any promoters event. All right? Some exciting information now. I could start making these announcements, Honorable Minister. Carnival Monday, after having a meeting with the Commissioner of Police and his team, it was a very interesting meeting, but I could say that for persons who are listening, that we have the full support from the Commissioner and his police officers. Time changes. Carnival Monday will now end at midnight. Carnival Tuesday would now end at 10 p.m. We got a little 1 hour, so we're grateful. We're grateful. Street bars, again, is something that I love because I remember going to Carnival with my mom and seeing street bars, so it's something that is very dear to my heart. We'll now go back to round the clock. So persons, you can now experience a round the clock experience thing. And there's also now an extension to Carnival. We know traditionally Carnival would end on the Carnival Tuesday, which is July 8th. We're now extending Carnival to July 13th, Sunday, July 13th. So you still have a couple days to have some fun in this beautiful country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Some other exciting things, we're actually going to start our Vincy Mas Carnival experience at the AIA. The Minister spoke about the benefits of having AIA, and Vincy Mas CDC wants to take a carnival experience to AIA every Wednesday and Sunday starting from tomorrow with a pilot. We're going to do a pilot just to see how persons react to it. I was told that there are going to be 3 flights on the ground tomorrow. So as you land, for those who are listening to me and you're coming home tomorrow, you're going to have that Vincy Mas experience as you come off of that A bridge, and it's going to be epic. I could tell you that much. So we are looking forward to that, and we're in collaboration with the management and staff at AIA and the Tourism Authority. The decorating of Kingstown, we're going to start off the week of the 18th, and I know when we put out some teasers on social media, a lot of persons say that they would want to be a part of it. So I'm now telling you that we're going to start the week of the 18th to decorate the entire Kingstown with different elements of Vincy Mas, and our sponsors and stakeholders are also going to be a part of that decorating of Kingstown to give it an atmosphere, to give it a vibe. So I'm looking forward to seeing all those persons to come and help pull a piece of fabric, put up a banner here, and what's not. The transformation of Carnival City, Victoria Park. We have an entire plan to make Victoria Park look and feel different, and that is something that we are totally excited about. We are partnering with private entities to basically bring Victoria Park alive, and of course the management and staff at the National Lotteries who would also be helping. Some additions to the venue, Carnival City. Our senior citizens, don't worry yourself, we're going to have a separate gate for you for entrance, for entry, so that you don't have to line up with some of these young people who's trying to get into the rush. So we are catering for our senior citizens and persons who need wheelchair access, because currently we do not have a wheelchair access here at Victoria Park, and we want to make sure that everybody can come. We're going to do an upgrading of bathrooms here at Victoria Park, the food court upgrades, our photo walls, and of just our general entrance and access points. That is something that you could look forward to. Our security plan, not just for Victoria Park, but throughout Kingstown, where there's activities. We have a full security plan that we're going to put in place. We're going to be mapping Kingstown, where we're going to be posting a map where you can find bathrooms, where you can find the nearest taxi, where you can find the nearest food court, and all of these things. And our new addition, we're going to do a food and craft village in Kingstown, and we are collaborating with the Art in Action Association and the Fashion Association to give you a food village that would go for an entire week during Carnival. So at any given time, you can go to the food village and get local food and local craft from our creatives here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And of course, our Labor Day collaborations, I would speak more on that as the Labor Day committee is coming to St. Vincent's, coming to Vincy Mas to experience what we have to offer, and we are going to Labor Day to do the same. Our social media, and I want to big up our marketing team, spearheaded by Esworth Roberts. Just the numbers that I am seeing, and of course, Minister, there's something that you always encourage, the collaboration. The CDC is collaborating also with Project Food, who has been doing a tremendous job with Ezzy and his team. And our social media platforms is to the roof. Right now, we are at 4.2 million in reaches, 18K in followers, and 2,400 new followers both on Instagram and Facebook. I want to make this appeal to the food and bar vendors. Send your proposal and your application. If you don't send it, you cannot be counted. So I'm making this appeal for you to send your food and bar proposal to the CDC. Sorry? With the certificates, of course, the health certificates and all that, because we have to keep our people safe. We have seen a lot of media houses from all over the world who wants to come in and partner and collaborate with Vincy Mas, with CDC. Madam CEO mentioned it earlier, and we are excited and we are accepting everybody. Who come, who want to come, we are accepting everybody because we have to spread the word. At the CDC, we have an open door concept, so if there's any queries, any questions, anything that you're disgruntled about, we have an open door concept. You can come in and speak to me or anybody from the CDC team or the board of directors, and we would make sure that we can help to rectify any of those issues that you're having. I also want to put a plug here for the development department here at CDC. We're going to be hosting a lot of intense workshop from next week, going into some of the competitions for some of the competitors, both in calypso and soca. So I'm encouraging the soca artists to come and be a part of these workshops. It is necessary and it is needed. And we're going to also have a full seminar with our judges to talk about code of conduct. I mean, understanding the criteria in front of you. How do you dress as a judge, and all these things. And some people might see it as these things are not necessary, but for us at the CDC, we want to do best practices and we want to align ourselves with international standards. I want to take this opportunity to say a major thank you to all our confirmed sponsors and those who are still in discussion and potential sponsors. I want to say thank you so far. I want to say a major thank you to the staff here at the CDC. We've been doing a lot of work, I mean, with limited time. And thank you to the minister and the permanent secretary for the two secondment, which is the festival director and commercial manager. We're really seeing the fruit of their labor. I want to say a major thank you to the components. I mean, you guys have been putting in a lot of work. Now it's time to execute. And the CDC, the board of directors, is in full support. Service providers and private promoters, again, thank you, because you also make up this entire fabric. And I also want to take this opportunity to make a plug, to invite persons to the Calypso tent from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And you can come and experience something different at the Russell's Auditorium, not just the performances, but we're going to do an entire transformation of the venue. So I remember when I took a friend there for the first time to the Calypso tent, she never stopped going tent. So you need to come and you need to experience tent and what it's all about. Honorable Minister, I would assure you that the CDC would be doing all that they can to make sure that we have a successful festival. And we know we have your continued support. Never mind, you know, we would appreciate a little bit more in the kitty. I mean, because it is very expensive to host a festival of this magnitude. And for all those who are listening and those persons who are coming home from the diaspora, thank you on behalf of the entire CDC, the board of directors, and the components. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rodney and Annette, for providing very insightful updates to the public in relation to the Tourism Authority, the work that they're doing, spearheading our recovery, but also our marketing initiatives in the diaspora and also in our source markets. And of course, the CDC and Rodney and the work that they continue to do to build out the Vincy Mas Festival And we intend to take Vincy Mas to the next level. And you heard a number of the innovation and the plans that we have in place for 2025. But I would say to you, this is going to be one of the best Vincy Mas experiences we've ever had. And I want to encourage those who are listening, whether you're in New York, the UK, Canada, South America, the Caribbean islands, if you haven't booked to Vincy Mas, I want you to book to Vincy Mas 2025. Get online, call your travel advisors, get in touch with your airlines, contact your local accommodation providers. A number of boutique hotels are still available, may have a few spaces, but by and large, we can safely say that we have had a sold-out event for the entire Vincy Mas product before we have started, and where we are in terms of our bookings on the airlines and in room stock, the occupancy level, the projection in terms of the occupancy level. We are seeing a greater projection in terms of numbers than we have seen at this same time last year. And of course, our first quarter numbers are looking good. We're up over 12%, and we are now seeing 74.8% from the U.S. source market to St. Vincent and the Grenadines year on year in terms of the first quarter. So tourism is looking good. Our festival, Vincy Mas, our premier festival in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is on the high, and I want to encourage persons to be safe, be responsible, ensure that you hydrate if you're consuming alcohol. If you're driving, be very cautious and cognizant of the fact that you are a designated driver. And let us make this Vincy Mas a safe Vincy Mas, but a fun-filled Vincy Mas for one and all. Thank you very much, and God bless to each and every one of you. I don't know if there are any questions now from the media. Quite a few insightful presentations, but if there are any questions from the media, we'll take.
Minister, before you go to the media, I forgot to make one announcement. The winners from each Royal Soca Monarch has an automatic entry to the Soca Monarch semi-finals. All right?
Des, any questions? I see you're right there.
I guess we're good.
All right. Well, let me thank the media for coming out and those who have logged on the various platforms for joining us. And I want to wish you a safe day. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Take a deep breath. Breathe. Can you feel it? The air in your lungs. The essence and spirit of life in the air. This is paradise.